Alright then guys, welcome to the video, welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I would do a Q&A video because basically I asked you guys some questions on Instagram and I got way more of a response than I ever thought, so thank you to everyone that sent in a question. So I basically thought, why don't I rattle through some of these questions today so you guys can find out what you've been asking me. We might as well just get straight into it. Let's start answering some questions. I've got them all on my phone, so let's get on with it. So first question is, what made you get an EP3? So I don't really remember the one thing that made me think, yes, I want this car. I basically, so this is my third car. So I got this when I was 22. I think. This was like the first car on my list of dream cars that I wanted to own. So getting this was a pretty cool little life goal at the time. Yeah, I can't really remember exactly the reason why. There must have just been loads of things throughout my childhood, like growing up. The first ones of these were 20 years ago now, which is crazy to think. So first ones were 2001, so I would have been 7. So I must have seen them driving around and stuff growing up. There's a few people in my town who had Hondas and stuff. They didn't have EP3s, they had like EKs, stuff like that. I guess I've always really liked this. So when it came around to me deciding to get a new car, at the time it was between this, a Golf GTI or a Golf R32. I kind of quickly realized that basically I wanted this. It took me about 6 months to find this car, so it wasn't like a quick find or anything, but I think it was a mixture of childhood things and just eventually just figuring out this is what I wanted. It's quite a long-winded way of explaining it, but there you go. Okay, next question. How long have you owned the EP? So it kind of falls into that last question. I've owned this since September 2016, so quite a long time. It's been a while, and I still love it. I still love it, probably because of all the money I've spent on it. I still love it. Next question. Favorite Recaro Honda seat? I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's going to be these. These are the Recaro Speed seats, I think they're called. So these are out of a DC2 or an EK9 Type R. They did them in black as well. From what I believe, this red is a Honda only red, so you can't even buy this fabric anymore, which means if you've ever looked for some of these, you might see that there's like a mismatch in color. That's just basically because they just don't make this color anymore of fabric. So I'm quite glad that mine is still in relatively good condition. I could probably replace the bolsters. I have found the bolster replacement foam on eBay, so might do that. The driver's seat's way worse than the passenger seat. But yeah, these Recaros are by far my favorite. I sat in a DC2 and then I instantly knew I had to find a set for this car. And if you're curious, these are mounted using Premier Edition Recaro like seat rails, so I had to buy those separately. If you could have your EP3 wrapped or painted any color, what would you do? Good question. I love this grey. The Cosmic Grey is my favorite UK color. It's also a color I wouldn't change. I'm a big fan of grey, so I do really like this color. I love the Championship White, but I don't think I would spray a car Championship White. I'd rather just have a JDM EP3. So my choice would probably be like that. I don't really know what color it is, but it's not midnight purple, but like that mysticky purple color I've seen quite a few EP3s have got. I really do like that. So if I had to change the color, I'd probably change it to something like that. This is what I'm talking about. That color. Favorite Type R. This is hard because I feel like there's different Type Rs that I like for different reasons. I would say it's a toss-up between the EK9 and the FD2. I've driven an FD2 and it was awesome, and the fact that it's basically a 5-seater, it's got all the space for a family. I think it's the perfect family hot hatch, but I haven't driven an EK9. I don't actually think I've even been in an EK9. If I had to buy one, I'd probably buy an FD2 out of the two of those, because as much as I'd love to own an EK9, I feel like the FD2 is more usable for everyday use, if that makes sense. Have you ever thought about boosting your EP3? I got asked this quite a few times. So yeah, I thought about it. I was going to supercharge it. I was going to do Jackson Racing Supercharger because that meant I could keep my takeaway induction kit and basically bolt it on really, and it's not that hard to fit. I was thinking of doing that. I wasn't super interested in a turbo because I love the linear power band of the NA feel, and then the supercharger basically enhances that. But I think what I've decided is I'm just going to get it mapped, obviously with all the supporting mods and everything. That's sort of it, I think, for this. I feel like this engine, I know it can handle the power and everything. I think I'd rather turbo or supercharge something else. I know that sounds really weird. I just feel like this is the perfect expression of an NA car, and I don't want to take that away when I could just do it to something else. Where did you get your center console wrapped? So this isn't actually wrapped, this is hydro dipped, and it is hydro dipped the same as the door handles and the clock surround, and then those two bits in the engine bay that I've shown before. All of those were done at the same time, and I bought that as a bundle from someone on Facebook like 3, 5 years ago, maybe. He was selling all of those bits plus the carbon spark plug cover, all of that. So I don't actually know where it got done, but it's all hydro dipped. So, and I feel like there's probably a more updated, more realistic looking carbon effect out there now compared to this. But it looks really good. I'm still happy with how it looks. Right, next question. Total spend to date on the Civic. This will break your heart. So I'm too scared to work that out at the moment, but what I'm gonna do is once I've got everything sorted out, it's all mapped and everything, I'm gonna do a video breaking down the price of everything I've done to this car that's like performance related. So let me know down below if that's a video you're interested in. I feel like that's something you guys would wanna know. I think I'm gonna do it where I'll tell you how much I paid, and I might try and do it where it's like, if you wanted to buy it all new, this is how much it would cost. Because I think that would make me feel a bit better because I haven't bought everything brand new. I'm so scared about how much it's gonna be, but I think that'll be a good video. So yeah, let me know down below if that's something you're interested in. Do you see yourself getting rid of the EP3? If so, what for? If I can, I don't think I'll ever get rid of this car. The major reason is, well, they're not gonna make cars like this anymore. The raw driving experience and how they feel. Like, I'm not totally worried about straight line speed. Like, I just love the driving feel and the driver engagement with this car. But that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna get something else. So obviously this car is almost done. I've been thinking about the next car for the channel, so this one won't be going anywhere. I won't be getting rid of this, so it'll be something else. I would love to know your guys' opinions on this, so comment down below what you think, or comment some other suggestions. So I'm sort of at this point in time torn between an MX-5, probably a Mark 1, but maybe a Mark 2, I'm not sure yet, or an S2000. Now, I would love to do the S2000. The downside is it's so expensive, one, to buy and to modify compared to an MX-5. The money you'd have to put in to make the videos, I've got to look at this realistically. Like, I don't know if I can afford an S2000 build at the moment, whereas the MX-5 is way more affordable, if you know what I mean. So I think that's where I'm going. But if you've got any other suggestions, please do leave them down below, because I'd love to know what else there is out there that I've just not thought about, basically. Would you recommend the EP3 as a daily? I think it depends on your mileage. I'm quite lucky where I don't have to do a daily commute, or I don't have to use the car loads, so that my fuel bill isn't crazy. I think if you were having to do 20 to 40 miles a day, I think it's quite an expensive car to run. It's not the most economical car in the world, is it? Let's be honest. So I would say if you're not doing loads of miles, or you have the money to spend on fuel, I would say it's worth it. It's just a great fun car to get to and from places in. I didn't buy this because I needed a motorway cruiser. I bought it for the miles per gallon more than the miles per gallon. Oh yeah, road tax as well. Road tax is like over 300 quid now, which is just insane. So I'm gonna go with, yeah, it's worth it. If you can afford to run it, then do it. What's your opinion on an EP2, considering getting one eventually, as they are a bit cheaper? I think as a first car, I'd say an EP2 is a good choice. I just feel like if you've got the money to be able to stretch to an EP3, I'd say it's worth it, because the engine is so much better. And even though they look the same, they're not the same. EP2s are lighter and all of that, but I think one of my favorite things about this car is this engine, and the EP2 doesn't have this engine. So if you can stretch to an EP3, I would recommend saving for a bit longer to get one. If it's out of your reach because of crazy insurance prices and stuff like that, then an EP2 is a great first car, or a good gateway into getting one of these if one of these is the goal. What brakes are you running on the front? Okay, let me jump out and we will talk about that. So I've got the DC5 Brembos up the front, and basically it's DC5 Brembo, S2000 disc, and I don't actually know what pads are in it. I got it as a full kit from Haas at Garage EP3. There is a video on the install of this, and yeah, it got braided lines all round as well, so that was pretty cool. And that is everything to do with the brake setup that I can think of anyway. Okay, right, whilst we're out here, I have a question for you all. So I've got these genuine spooner stickers. Question is, do I actually stick these on? They're supposed to go here, about there-ish. Actually, this is the first time I've ever lined it up, so it looks pretty cool. I've seen DC5s with them, and obviously EK9s, stuff like that. Do I put them on the EP3? I'm undecided. Two reasons. One, they are real spoon stickers from Japan, proper ones, so they're expensive. The other reason is I haven't got any stickers anywhere else on the car. Would this ruin it if these were here? They would look pretty cool, but I feel like I'm scared to commit just in case I don't like it, because they're genuine spoon stickers. Do you see where I'm coming from? Leave comments down below. What do you think? Should I stick these on? Should I get some fake ones, stick those on, see if I like it, take them off and put these on? Or should I leave them off? let me know. Right, let's get on with the next question. Have you ever thought about a DC5? Yes, I think they're way cooler of a car. You could release it today and I feel like it would pass, it looks modern enough to be passed as a brand new car. I just can't afford one, basically, and they're quite similar to the EP3, really. I mean, when you break it down, I would love one, let's be honest. When are you planning to have the car mapped, if ever? So basically, I need an ECU that's mappable, and I need to install an inlet manifold, and I may give you a sneak peek at that in this video, so stay tuned to find out which one I've got. I'm waiting on an ECU to pop up. I'm looking for a K-Pro V4 so I can connect via Bluetooth to my head unit. That was the plan. That's one of the reasons why I got this head unit. It's pretty overkill. I probably don't really need it, to be honest, but I'm gonna full send on that department. I need to figure out everything that needs to happen to be able to install the inlet manifold, because I'm not 100% sure on that yet, so there will be a video on that whenever that does happen. Yeah, and I also need the ECU. So once I have those two things, I'll then be able to go get it mapped. So I don't have an exact timeline on that because it involves an ECU popping up and me actually being able to get it and all of that stuff. So it's coming. Everything I've done has basically been leading up to that point. So don't worry, it is definitely gonna get mapped. This is a pretty good question. Do you think you'll get more than what you paid for your EP3 when you come to sell it? Absolutely no chance. The only way I would make most of the money back was if I was to just break the car into all of the bits. So I still have all the standard bits that I've taken off of this. So if I really wanted to, I would just put all of that back on and sell all the bits I've put on. That would be the easiest way to make some of the money back. Quite a lot of the bits I would probably break even on because I already bought them secondhand and I feel like they're all still worth that same money. So I'd probably be all right in those bits. It's the stuff I bought new, like the coilovers I'd lose money on, and basically all the suspension stuff. If I had to sell it, to be honest, that is the way I'd go because I know I'd get more money for it that way. I reckon as a standard car, this is probably at a similar price now, considering the mileage, as when I bought it, because I bought this before they started going up in price again. So I got a pretty good price on this. I bought this like 85,000 miles. When I bought it, it already had the InGen long arm induction kit, the one that goes behind the bumper, had one of those. I think there was one other mod, but I can't remember what it was. That's another long-winded way of answering that. If I was just to sell it as is, I'd lose thousands. How is the handling and ride on a daily basis compared to stock after fitting the yellow speed coilovers? I can't really remember the standard suspension. It's definitely a harsher ride. Now that I've got the fast road setup, obviously that's the dampening and everything, that's all dialed in on that. I'm happy with that because I know the benefits I get from my car being like this, if you get what I mean. But it's definitely more rigid, and I would say if you're looking for it to be comfy, it's not, but the trade-offs are worth it. And then a question related to that is, how has the suspension mods and geo setup changed the handling of the EP3? It is one of the best things I've done to this car, hands down. The suspension setup on this, all the bits I've got, plus the Motion Motorsport fast road setup, all of that combined is definitely one of the best things I've done to this car. I think the only downside for me is because I basically went full send with the suspensions in one go, I don't know the benefit of each individual part. So in terms of like the front and rear anti-roll bars, I can't really tell because of everything else I've done. And if you've followed the channel for a while, you'll know that I originally installed a Progress front anti-roll bar as well, and then when I went to fit the spoon manifold, it meant that it didn't fit. So I've now got a JDM front anti-roll bar. So if you're looking to do an anti-roll bar setup, either hit me up for a Progress anti-roll bar if you're not going to fit a JDM designed 41 manifold, because they were all designed off of the JDM EP3 that had the JDM anti-roll bar. That's why they don't fit. I do still have the Progress anti-roll bar if someone is interested. Hit me up on Instagram or something and we can sort something out if you're interested. Yeah, so I've basically got JDM anti-roll bar at the front, Progress anti-roll bar at the back, and obviously the Progress one comes with that bar across the beam and it looks sick. Have you learned to heel and toe? No. To be honest, I've hardly driven this car. The battery keeps going flat because I'm not driving it enough. It's on my list of things to learn. I'm trying to become a better driver. One of those things that just obviously takes time to learn, and I haven't been able to really go out and learn. The next lot of questions are not based totally on the car, more about other stuff, so I'll answer those too. I love your EP3 videos, thank you very much. A non-EP3 question, what other cars / interests do you have? So I don't have any other cars, but I am interested in other cars. Anything JDM pretty much is top of the list, but to be honest, I don't really hate any cars. And then other interests would be, I'm pretty big into skateboarding, have been for like 14 years, that's over half my life. So that's a pretty major one. And I'm into like shoes, like Nike SB trainers. That sort of stemmed from me skateboarding, but now I've sort of got quite a lot. Off the back of that one, have you ever thought about doing skateboarding videos on your channel? So there are some on there from when I was younger and stuff, but it's hard to film other people and be filmed doing tricks, because it's not like you can just do a trick for, well, unless you're really, really good. The tricks you want to film take time to film. I just don't feel like you guys are that interested in it for me to make a video about it. If you are, let me know down below if you want to see some skateboarding stuff. If you're not that interested but want to see some tricks, either follow me on Instagram, I post some tricks on there, or there are videos on this channel of stuff that I've filmed, and I have some clips in those videos, but usually I'm the one filming, so I can't be in it and film it, if that makes sense. Okay, what PC specs and what games do you play? So I will take you inside and show you. This is my setup. As you can see, I'm not a PC person, I'm a Mac person. This is my office, this is where I edit all my photos, all my videos, everything, so that all gets done here. I guess now that it's not a PC and it's a Mac, you're probably not as interested, but yeah, this thing is 8 years old. I'm due a refresh, but I am waiting for the next iMac, basically. It's still going strong, still editing all my videos and everything. Yeah, this is my desk setup, really. I thought it kind of relates. Some cool bits. There's a spoon box down here for the bung dying plant as well. Yeah, I'll list the specs of this if you are interested, but it's so old, it's not really worth you knowing. We'll do the next question. Oh yeah, I realized I didn't actually finish that last question. So what games do I play? I basically just play Call of Duty Warzone because I have friends that play it, and it's a game we can play cross-platform that we all have. I play on PS4, so I don't really play anything else, even though I've got loads of games I could play. I don't even own normal Call of Duty, I literally just have Warzone. Next question, would you ever get a gaming racing setup? I did think about doing this because I want to drive more and it's in a way you can learn techniques and stuff that you could use in driving in real life. I just don't really have the money for it. If I've got spare money, it's probably going on the Civic or in savings, to be honest. I can't really afford to do it, as it's something I don't really know if I'll use loads in the future. If things work out, then maybe, yeah. Did you sell your chunky donkey? So that probably sounds very weird to you if you have no idea about what that shoe is. I was very lucky to get the Nike SB Ben & Jerry's collab shoe in a raffle, so I paid normal price for them. And yes, I do still have them, so I'll take you upstairs and show you. Okay, so here are my shoes. There's quite a lot. If you don't know the shoe that I'm talking about, it is, yeah, these are basically a Ben & Jerry's Nike SB collab called the Chunky Donkey, based off of the Chunky Monkey flavor in the US. And I'm very lucky to have these. These are worth a crazy amount of money. Yeah, there's loads of cool little details about these. If you're not into shoes, I won't bore you with the details, but if you want to know more, let me know. Don't think I'll be getting rid of them unless I really need the money. That's basically the idea. Got some other rarer dunks here. Got like the Medicom ones, got the diamond ones with the Velcro swoosh, and I've got the Para ones, some other dunks. Loads of Stefan Janoski shoes, my favourite Nike SB shoe. As much as I'm loving these dunks that are coming out at the moment, loads of shoes. So if you want to know more about my shoes, I'm happy to talk about them. Obviously you guys are here for the Civic, so I won't bore you with that. As promised, I will give you a little sneak peek of the inlet manifold because it's stored in this room. Here it is. So I've decided on the Skunk 2 Ultra in black because it looks sick and obviously matches with things going on the engine bay. Bought it new from KAIZEN, obviously. Use my discount code. Save yourself some money if you want to get one as well. Yeah, so this will be going on in a future video. Reason I haven't installed it yet is because the car doesn't run great once you've installed this and it isn't mapped. So I want to still be able to properly drive my car around rather than it running not too happy, if you get what I mean. So that's why this is still in the box. Little sneak peek if you stayed this long in the video, so now you know what's coming. Right, let's get back out to the car and finish off this video. Thanks guys, thanks for sending all of your questions in. I really wasn't expecting to get that many questions. I didn't really know people wanted to know stuff about me, basically. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Hopefully you've learned something about me or something like that. Drop a comment down below if you've got any other questions you want to ask me. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out some more videos on this car because there's plenty on the channel. And yeah, thanks again, guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.